It is Dallas week. You've been waiting for it. So how can the Eagles slow down Micah Parsons? He's a beast. What can they do to slow him down? On the other side, the Cowboys, what matchup could they try to exploit against the Eagles? We're going to break that down here on Eagles Game Plan right now.
Hey, give that thing, take action. 1, 2, 3, take off.
Hey everybody, welcome to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. This is a special Eagles Game Plan. Eagles Cowboys rivalry game. You've all been waiting for it. Mike Quick and Ike Reese, they have played in many Eagles Cowboys rivalry games. And to me, this is a statement game because the Eagles have lost 4 of 5 to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is 8-3 against the Eagles. So to me, this is a statement game. The Eagles are at home.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, you just mentioned some key stats there. Dak having the winning record that he has against the Eagles, that certainly is motivation for us on our side of the football to try to get a win here. But you're talking about two teams that are battling for not only supremacy in this division, but in this conference. And I know we're at the halfway point, but this is a huge game this week.
But is anybody in the National Football League playing any better than A.J. Brown?
Not that I can think of.
A.J. Brown is such a monster out on the field. He does everything to perfection. The way he's able to contort his body, make catches that won the go-ahead touchdown, and just the little subtle things that he does now as a receiver, I think it takes him a mark above everybody else that's playing the position in the league right now.
I agree, and you don't usually view him as sort of I don't want to say a finesse receiver, but, with his size and the way that he plays, the strength that he uses, you wouldn't necessarily associate that with having soft hands and having that ability. But that's the greatness of A.J. Brown that we're starting to see, is that he can be that physical receiver. He can break tackles, the run after the catch, but he also has the soft hands to make the tough catches like we saw last week against Washington. I still can't get the catch out of my mind, the one he made on the sideline against the Jets a couple weeks ago when he pinned the ball on his shoulder pads. We're starting to see a young man come into his prime as a wide receiver. And Mike, you know this better than any of us sitting here. Like, when you feel that you're unstoppable at that position, all you want is for them to get you the ball. And while I'm mentioning getting him the ball, the quarterback is playing pretty good football himself.
Oh, he's been outstanding. I remember there was a stretch in the game where he went 16 in a row completions. And, the game didn't start out perfectly for him, but the way he weathered the storm, the way he played down the stretch, he's unbelievable. And he and Swole Batman, what a great combination that the NFL is witnessing with these guys.
And A.J. Brown, since he's come into the NFL, has the most touchdowns with 1 yard of separation or less. That is how impressive he is. You can cover him well. He's covered, but he's going to catch the ball. And that's good coaching from the receivers coach, Aaron Moorehead, right? So let's get a breakdown of the Birds' passing attack right now with the receivers coach, Aaron Moorehead. Here is Tape Study with Fran Duffy, presented by Chickies and Pete's.
All right, so joining us this week here for Tape Study, presented by Chickies and Pete's, the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Eagles wide receivers coach Aaron Moorehead. And Coach, we've all seen the big highlights from A.J. Brown's record-setting day, but it's more about than just the big-time plays with A.J., right? He can do a lot of the little things as well. And I think we see that here on this reception in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, A.J. does a great job, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. He's in tremendous shape. He's doing a lot of little things that people don't notice. And again, everybody sees the one-handed catch. They see the down-the-field catches. They see the catches and runs. But there's other things that are going on in his game that he continues to mature and get better. Right here, you can see this route. When he comes off the line of scrimmage, he's inside leverage. He's obviously, as we saw, he's getting ready to run an out route. When that guy's on his outside, that's a really tough route. You have to sell that you're going to run something inside to this guy. So he thinks that he may have to undercut it. And AJ does a good job at the top of this with his hands and his feet of swiping him off and then giving him a little kind of 1-2 at the top and then turning this thing out and giving Jalen a friendly throwing lane. Jalen makes a great throw, and we end up getting a nice throwing catch there for over 20 yards.
All right, so let's take a look at another play here, a catch by wide receiver Devontae Smith. This one happens in the 2-minute drill just across midfield.
Yeah, huge drive for us before the end of the half. Again, we had just completed 3 balls in a row to Kenny. We had 1 to OZ in there. Jalen now is going to get Devontae involved. And, you know, he went right now and attacks this guy's outside shoulder, works back on a deep curl route, and then has the ability to break a tackle and get another extra, 8 to 10 yards for us right there. And again, a drive that was super important for us. We got points right before the half with a phenomenal catch by AJ in the left corner of the end zone, but just a huge momentum swing for us in the game right here. Really just two plays back-to-back here by Smitty that got us into the red zone.
Yeah, some synergy there, because I remember it was the big post down the field the first time you guys played a few weeks ago in week 4 to Smitty that kind of got the momentum rolling going in the locker room, and you get that here with this sequence of plays.
No doubt about it. And last year he had the post and then the big corner catch right before the half too. So again, we love our two-headed monster in these two guys, and excited to see what this next clip is going to bring us with the third head.
Yeah, and that play is going to be this catch here by Julio Jones, his first touchdown as an Eagle. A lot's been written about, has been talked about with this play. Take us through what made it work.
Well, it starts with preparation, and he's been here for really, honestly, it's been less than 2 weeks. When the game was here, it was just about 10 days he was here. So a lot of preparation of understanding the offense, him working to just kind of understand our plan for him, and again, he's worked so hard at just understanding exactly how we want things done, why we want things done, and then taking his experience in his career so far and adding that. So again, this was a play that we thought if we had a run fake at this safety, that he may come down at this speed that he came down, and again, he did what we thought he may do from our tape study. Julio attacks him like he's going to go block him in the run game, stutters his feet and goes vertical, and Jalen makes a great throw to avoid throwing it to the safety that's behind him or the safety that's in front of him. Julio does what he's been doing his whole career, goes up and makes a phenomenal catch, gets a hit, and again, you can see all the big boys going to come celebrate with him. Really an exciting moment in the game, put us up by a touchdown and really got everybody going.
That's the thing, is I feel like from the end zone angle, you get two great visuals where you get just the ridiculous catch by Julio. And again, Jalen's got to keep this ball away from this safety, so he puts it on the back shoulder. And then, as you mentioned, just the energy and excitement from all the other white jerseys. It was just awesome to see that on film.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, he's come in, he's earned his respect from his teammates. He's a legend in this game, future Hall of Fame player. We all know that. But when you haven't played with him, you don't know what he's about. And I think he's just come in, he's done a lot of different things. He's blocked, he's run routes, he's caught the ball, he's blocked after someone else caught the ball. He's done a lot of different things. So I think he's earned the respect of those guys. And I think everyone was really waiting for him to make a play like this, not only on the guys in the field, but the people on the sideline too. So it was a pretty fun moment for everybody.
Love you, boy. Love you too, man. You got your shirt on backwards, man.
That's why I appreciate y'all.
This is what I like right here. What I like right here.
We feed off each other, man. Let's move.
In the sun like a mother. That's why I turned around. I turned around because in the sun, I couldn't see that.
Yo, come on. Keep believing. Keep believing. That's a hell of a job.
Hey, Devontae Smith got into the end zone last week, and he had 99 yards. The Eagles have the best passing attack in the NFL over the last 5 weeks. Cowboys giving up 17 points a game. One of the best defenses. What a great matchup for Greg Cosell to break down from NFL Films. Greg, how about that Eagles offense against the Dallas D, and watching out for Micah Parsons?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, John, because this Cowboys defense, they are really defined. They play more man coverage than any team in the National Football League, and they are really multiple with their front looks. They have tremendous depth along the defensive line, a lot of guys who can line up in multiple positions. And one thing you will see from them for sure is they will line up in what we call a diamond front, 5 across. Okay, and that pretty much dictates one-on-one pass protection, and they will use Micah Parsons in any number of spots along that 5-man front. What they like to do is line him up over the offensive center. Could be a really intriguing matchup with Kelsey. But you're going to see last week against the Rams, this is exactly what they did. They line him up over the center. It's really a difficult matchup for any center. They isolate him because you can see the 2 D tackles work to the outside of the guard's shoulders. So you get the isolation of Micah Parsons one-on-one versus the center. There's not many centers that can handle that. That's one of the things to really look for in this game, but they do a lot of things with their multiple front looks, and they're really difficult with it.
Yeah, G, when you're looking at Michael Parsons, right, I think the play you just broke down, I think that's playing right into the Cowboys' hands. Being in obvious passing situation is going to allow Michael Parsons to pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. I like what the Eagles did last year in the first game against the Dallas Cowboys and really running at Michael Parsons. So how much of that do you think will be a part of the game plan this week, and Michael Parsons trying to neutralize him in the pass rushing game versus him trying to stop the run?
That's a great point, Ike, and I think the Cowboys know that as well. So I think you could see him move around a lot. Look, even this past week, and they've been doing it all year, even in normal down and distance situations, the Cowboys are essentially a nickel defense. They don't play base. They don't play with 3 linebackers. So they play nickel almost all the time. And Parsons moves around. He'll stand up as a linebacker. He'll move around the defensive front. Now, the Cowboys are aware of what the Eagles will try to do, and that's the chess match in this game. Because the one thing about the Cowboys, they are fast flow on defense, and you might want to see misdirection. You might want to see the kinds of things like, as a defensive player, things that grab the eyes of defensive players, and the play doesn't go exactly how it looks. That's something you might see a lot from the Eagles this week.
All right, Greg, bringing that sweater swag for big Dallas week, huh? I love to see it. We'll see you later on in the show.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, so the Cowboys lost one of the best corners in football in Trayvon Diggs, but they're in year 3 of the Dan Quinn defense. So how do you think they're going to try to defend this Eagles passing attack?
Well, they're going to get after the Eagles. And here's what I'll tell you. The one thing about this Cowboy team, that offense may get all the shine, the attention, and everything else, but this is a team that identifies itself through its defense. They want to set the tone on that side of the football. Even though they don't have Trayvon Diggs there, they've done a nice job of sort of bringing in guys. Deron Bland, second-year player, got a pick six last week against the Rams, so he's a playmaker. We know Stephon Gilmore. He was a great player, former Defensive Player of the Year. There's still some good football left in him. So I say all this to say, you're going to get that single high safety look that Dan Quinn is known from his days back in Seattle. That's what he likes to do, which means there's going to be opportunities for the Eagles and their wide receivers on the outside. But here's what I'll say we need to do in order to get the Cowboys sort of out of their comfort zone. We can't let it get to obvious passing situations, because that's where they really like to get after you at.
All right, welcome back to Eagles Game Plan, presented by Toyota. Let's go back to his office at NFL Films. Greg Cosell joining us once again. And when you look at this Dallas passing attack, Dak Prescott over 300 yards against the Rams. So that is a potent passing game for the Cowboys. Eagles are still trying to figure out that slot cornerback spot. How do you see this matchup?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Prescott's played his best 2 games of the year in his last 2. He's moved around a bit more, but he's been really good from the pocket. You talk about the slot. CeeDee Lamb, about half of his targets this year have come out of the slot, the other half outside, but he's tough in the slot. And the Cowboys do a lot with formation and motion to really create opportunities. We saw a great example of that last week. So let's take a look at this play. They're in an empty formation, something they've had success with the last couple of weeks. And right now what you're going to see is actually Lamb is at the bottom of the screen, okay? He is actually the number 1 receiver here, but they're going to take the tight end, Jake Ferguson, and they're going to motion him with what we call short burst motion outside of Lamb. So what this does, look at the response. You're going to see the corner jump out now with Ferguson. So what happens? Lamb ends up getting matched on a safety, and you'll take that all day long. Little slant route, room to run after the catch. Where you see Lamb really good run after catch is when he's in the slot, when he's working inside versus safeties, linebackers. This is something that the Eagles must be aware of. Now, when he plays outside, hey, corners take him, no problem. That's just the nature of the NFL. But inside, he is really difficult. And as I said, about half of his targets this year have come in the slot. They also use him in motion quite a bit, something that the Eagles have to be aware of.
And he is, CeeDee Lamb, the most targeted Dallas receiver with over 60 targets so far this season. And after the game on Sunday, I heard Dak say that I'm in a rhythm now. And I think that's key when a quarterback feels like he's in a rhythm and you see that he's in rhythm. Greg, what do the Eagles have to do to try and get him out of that rhythm? Because he threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in last week's game.
Well, in this game, I think, Hugh, it's pass rush because Dak right now is very decisive with the football. But there are times when you watch him, not the last 2 weeks, but certainly earlier this season throughout his career, where sometimes he gets a little stuck and is uncertain as to where he wants to throw the ball. I think pass rush will be critical. I think they can do that against this Cowboys offensive line. You've got to get people around him. You've got to get him a little uncomfortable. Right now, he's really decisive with where he wants to throw the football. He threw a touchdown early in this game to Jake Ferguson against the Rams last week. That just shows you the confidence with which he's playing right now. So you have got to disrupt that confidence and make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket, squeeze him a little bit.
Yeah, G, when I hear you talk about Dak and how comfortable he feels playing at the quarterback position, and then a moment ago you talked about CeeDee Lamb and how they're using him in a variety of ways and getting him involved in the offense, particularly down in that red zone, makes me even more excited that we acquired a guy like Kevin Byard last week from Tennessee. His versatility as a player, his ability to play close to the line of scrimmage, play slot defender if need be, as well as playing safety. How do you think Kevin Byard's presence on the defensive side of the ball will help in defending like CeeDee Lamb in the multiple positions he plays, particularly down in the red zone area?
Yeah, he's probably not going to match up to him very often, but I think the savvy, Ike, I think, Byard's been around. He's seen a lot. He'll understand formations. He'll understand motions. He played every snap last week, which probably surprised us all, but that's going to happen again this week. And he just has great awareness for what teams do in terms of their formations and motions, as I said. And I think that's where he'll really help. The Cowboys are really good with how they use Lamb. He's obviously their best receiver, but they're also multiple with their tight ends. Yeah. And I think that's something else that the Eagles have to be aware of. They like to play with 2 and at times 3 tight ends.
Hey, welcome back to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. If the Eagles can win this game, they would be 8-1 and the Cowboys would be 5-3. That would be huge for the division and the NFC. It's time for Call Your Shot. So Mike Quick and Ike Reese, call your shot.
All right, I'm right this week, Ike. Just so, Sean Desai and his defense, they know that they've got to pressure Dak Prescott. Yep. They're going to get heat on him, and the Eagles are going to have a defensive touchdown that's going to swing the game into the Eagles' favor.
Like that.
That's how they.
I like a defensive touchdown.
There's going to be a defensive touchdown by the Eagles in this game.
Okay.
I like that. I'm gonna go with not so much of the obvious choice. I mean, I could just go with A.J. Brown, another 125 yards.
Well, that's going to happen.
So I won't go with that one, but I'm gonna go with the guy who I believe should be the front runner for the MVP of the league right now, and that's Jalen Hurts. Oh. I'll go with Jalen. He had 4 touchdowns last week. Were you impressed with that?
Yes.
I think we can go one better. Wow. Let's go with Jalen Hurts being responsible for 5 touchdowns this week. Could be 3 passing, 2 rushing. I don't know how it's going to count out, but I think in the end, there'll be 5 touchdowns that Jalen Hurts is responsible for.
Brotherly shove, too?
Yeah, it could happen, yes. It could happen.
Brotherly sweep, too.
Yes.
All right, well, Micah Parsons said he was hoping Cowboys fans would make this a home game at the Link. That's my call, my shot. That's not happening.
That's not going to happen.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's an easy one. This is going to be huge for the Eagles. One thing I think they have to watch out for, they have been able to win losing the turnover battle for a bunch of games, but the Cowboys feast on turnovers, takeaways, and they don't turn the ball over as much this year. Eagles have to win the turnover battle. Eagles, Cowboys, it is finally here. He is Mike Quick. He's Ike Reese. I'm John Clark. Enjoy the game. Thanks for watching Eagles Game Plan, presented by Toyota. Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by Pepsi, 0 sugar, 0 never tasted so good. That's what I like. Toyota, your local tri-state Toyota dealers, proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy.